It's incredible. It's incredible. Well, I wouldn't watch that. Oh no, they're not repeating that. God, why do people watch that? Honestly, if BBC's meant to educate, entertain, and inform, they ought to put some more, sort of more effort into educating and informing as well as entertaining. Not that you would call that entertainment. Well, that's good. At least they got that. Yeah, definitely good. No, but on Christmas Day, honestly, well, this is the thing I think we all get. Those of us who like to have a set view of what we watch and what we don't watch over Christmas. Like many, I get the Christmas Radio Times, and every year I kind of circle what I want to watch. And if you can see that, it doesn't matter if you can't, but I literally, when I buy it, first week of December or second week, grab a biro and I get home, circle all the programs I want to watch. Fine. But the thing I always find is there's sometimes some days where it's just wall-to-wall rubbish. And there's nothing really you want to watch. And you think, how can you give that to public at Christmas? And I think we all have an idea of what sort of entertainment we should have at Christmas. And it comes down to one crucial, highly moral, very important thing. Everything I like, who gives a about everyone else? And I think we all feel like that. And this is where I think part of the crux is where we have a concern. Recently, there's been something called Radio Times Genome. It's been around for a few years, but not that long. And people have looked at it, if only to see what they were watching when they were born. Basically, what it is it's lists every Radio Times listing from 1923 to 1999. So if you look at past Christmases on Radio Times Genome, it's, you look at some Christmases and it's like, well, given the time period and everything, that's fine. You look at other Christmases, it's like, my goodness, is that what you're giving them on Christmas Day? And I think part of what we don't like about when we look at TV schedulings is we have a very idealized view of Christmas television in the past and what we liked, when I think we just remember one particular day and one particular part of a day. Let me give you an example. One of my favorite Christmases, looking back, when I was 10 in 1985, and I remember Gandhi, the film had its television film premiere on BBC One. And I remember that, and that was good. I'm just about old enough to remember the Morecambe and Wise show over Christmas. So I think we all have kind of idealized views that kind of stuck. But it was only one particular day and one particular time. And I've been looking at past ones, and there's the first Christmas Day television, 1936. And it was on December the 25th. The Radio Times cover that year is a bit contentious. Well, it's not contentious, it's downright awful. It has a gollywog, amongst other things. But we have Christmas Day television edition. It wasn't that one. Hang on, scrub that. I don't think that was the one, the gollywog, thankfully. No, this one came out. No, it was the previous one. So I'm looking at the 27th. Yeah, it was the awful. They did have an awful front cover. I thought I was about to tell a big fat lie there, which was, not deliberately, but yeah. And obviously, it was, they didn't have a King's Speech. And they wasn't sure whether they'd ever have one. King George V gave his last one the previous Christmas, and of course the abdication had just happened. So George VI had only been king for 2 weeks when Christmas Day arrived. And so Christmas Day, 1936, on BBC television, we had And for those who say that it wasn't broadcast on television until 1957, that's true and it's not true. Yes, it wasn't broadcast live, as in the monarch being in front of the cameras, but they did broadcast it from the radio recording live at 3 p.m. You just had it with pictures or something, but you didn't have the actual film of the monarch. So it was sound only. But anyway, I digress. Christmas Day program summary followed by the Christmas turkey, a demonstration on carving by B.J. Hulbert. Newsreel. Only Christmas in the Arctic. I would have watched that. It's a 5-minute documentary where Edward Shackleton, later known as Teddy Shackleton, who was later in Hal Wilson's cabinet as leader of the Lords, was the son of Sir Ernest Shackleton. He was in his 20s then, and he was talking about spending Christmas in the Arctic with an Oxford University expedition he did 2 years before. Picture page, Christmas number, close it, and then there was close at 4 o'clock, and then there's the Christmas carols at 9. And then a seasonal tour through the Empire, a film showing various parts of the Empire at this season with a commentary written and spoken by Cecil Lewis. So that's very much of its time. There's a short one of 10 minutes called Some Unusual Christmases by Commander A.B. Campbell. That looks like it would have been interesting. But then there's a television party at the end where distinguished guest artists from the stage and screen will be guests of the BBC. Cecil Lewis will act as host. Good God, you almost wonder what that consisted of. Of course, there's no recording, actual television recordings left, or next to none, from that time. And I imagine none of them were recorded. They just came out as live, if they did. But a few things have come to mind looking at these past Christmases on, the present one. I don't think we've ever had a perfect radio time, Christmas listing, like brilliant programs all the way through. Admittedly, for me personally, this year, there were some good programs in up to Christmas Eve. Christmas special of Ghosts and Upstart Crow were very good. And there have been some, good 1 or 2 good documentaries, etc. So it's been good. Christmas Day and Boxing Day are very bland. But I think that actually, on reflection, that's good for 2 reasons. One, I think it's deliberately bland because they want to get the widest possible audience. And that means and they want to get audience members from the age of 5 to 100, roughly. So they're going to get, and it's trying to encompass all of that, and you're not. Sometimes it means it doesn't work. And 2, in some ways, it is good that it's a bit bland, because it means that Christmas, obviously, there's sometimes when it's nice watching the TV. The Queen's speech, nothing else. But at the same time, Christmas is there to be with family and friends. And I know this year of the coronavirus, many of us can't do that. But there is Zoom and there's Skype and there's other things, and you can, perhaps play board games via those things. So you don't have to rely on watching. You don't want to be watching television the whole time. So I think it actually is a good thing that sometimes we have a slightly rubbish schedule on television. But that's my thought for Christmas. So come tomorrow, when you're sort of looking at the listings and thinking, oh, a bit of rubbish, it might be for a very good reason. Anyway, have a happy Christmas. Thank you.